Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be learning lesson 9.4, which is graphing relationships. So we've learned about independent and dependent variables. We've learned about tables, about input and output tables and how they relate. And we've even worked on some story problems to look for the relationship to create the actual equation that we use to solve with. Okay, so today we can graph the relationship between the quantities. Okay, so not only can we create a table, which you see here, we're going to actually create a graph and we're going to graph these. This is a coordinate plane right here. It is only the quadrant number 1, which are your positives. Okay, so let's just get into this problem today. Let's see what we're doing. A cafeteria has a pancake making machine. The table shows the relationship between the time in hours, the number of pancakes a machine can make. Graph the relationship represented by this table. Okay, so this first side, this is like your X right here. Your X, this is your Y. Your X is the amount of hours creates the pancakes. X, remember, this is your x-axis. You see the X right here? X is usually the one that goes across. This is usually your independent variable, okay? This is your Y, or your dependent variable. So we're going to graph between X and Y. You don't have to write an equation today or think about it. All you're going to do is graph the information in this lesson. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to write ordered pairs. You see this? Remember, this is X, okay? And the second one, just like in our unit on coordinate planes, this is the same thing. X was first, Y goes second. There's my Y, okay? So they've already done the first one for you, 1 and 200. So they put 1 first, then 200, okay? Now we're going to come up here. I'm going to use my finger here. We're going to do 2. And then across from 2, there's a 400. So I'm going to put a 400 in this set right here. Then I have a 3 to 600, okay? 600 comes next. Now let's continue to fill these out. This is going to be 4. For every 4 hours, it can put out 800. For every 5 hours, it can put out 1,000. Okay, I've created ordered pairs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the bottom where I have this coordinate plane. And down here, I'm going to start by first creating down here. If you notice the time, there's some spaces that are empty. Fill in. You have 1 hour, 2 hour. We're going to fill in the 3, the 4, the 5, and then I'm going to put a 6 because they have an extra box here. Okay. Now up here, I have 200, 400. I have 600. Notice that everything is constant. Okay. Everything is constant. Then I have 800. And then I have 1,000. All right. Now I'm going to graph. I'm going to go, they've already got 1 to 200. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use my cursor this time. I'm going to go up from 2 to 400 and I'm going to create a dot. Okay, right here. Whoops, that's kind of a big one. I'm going to go to the 3 line. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. I'm going to come up to 600 and create a dot. And get that to go better. A 4, I'm going to go to 800. 5, I'm going to go to 1,000, just like I marked in my ordered pairs. Now notice you have a pattern. Do you see the pattern? Okay. If I would have had 6 hours, it would have been what? It would have been up here and it would have been 1,200, which is not on my chart. But if you'll notice, we created a straight line. Okay. Literally connecting the dots, it creates a straight line going up. When you graph points on a coordinate plane from an X and Y table, it creates a straight line. That's just the way that it is. All right, let's move on to the next problem because of time. This is on the next page, boys and girls. So I'm on page 512. All right, I'm going to read this question quickly. It says the number of bicycles Y Sean has left to assemble and the number of hours he has worked. Graph the relationship represented in the table to represent the unknown value of y. This is my x, is the amount of time it takes him, bicycles left to assemble. He has 10 bicycles he has to assemble. He knows that he has 10 to get done. In 1 hour, he's going to have 8. In 2 hours, what's the pattern, guys? What's he going to have left right here? Can you see a pattern? If I put a 6 here, whoops, forgot to change my pen. Okay, so he's going to make 6, right? Okay. In 3, it'd be 4. In 4, it'd be 2. Okay. This is the table. It has a pattern going this way. It has a pattern coming down the X. It has a pattern from left to right. Okay. So let's fill in. First of all, we're going to do our ordered pairs. We have a 1, 2, and 8. Okay. We have a 3. Okay. 3 is to a 4. Correct? And the 4, let's go ahead and put the 4 in it. They left out the 2, which is fine. We can do that. We can figure that out. We have 4 to every 2. Now let's come down here where we're going to now graph the points. Okay, so if I have 1, I have an 8, right? If I have a 2, I don't know yet. Well, we filled it in because we saw the pattern. But if I have a 3, I had a 4 right here. Okay, if I had a 4, I had a 2. Now, looking at this pattern right here, what do you see? Where's it going to be? You're going to see that it falls right at 6. This is where that unknown is. And you're going to, again, have a straight line that goes straight down where you can see from the graph what 6 will be for 2. We figured it out by looking at the pattern. But you can also figure it out by creating this coordinate plane and graphing those points on the coordinate plane. Okay. Now we can find the y value by looking for that 6. I mean, I'm ahead of myself here in this entire video. We know that in 2 hours, it's going to be 6. All right, I got ahead of myself. So to find that unknown, I went ahead, created my ordered pairs. I went ahead and graphed this situation right here. And in this case, I was able to find that when the value of x was 2, it would be 6 bikes left to assemble. All right, boys and girls, I'm not going to do anything more here today. I'm going to have you go ahead and start working on the share and show right here where it says you're going to be graphing the relationship represented by the table. Create your ordered pair right here based off of the x and the y, and then you're going to graph this amount. All right, so go ahead and practice graphing. All right, happy math.